What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I'm here to discuss one of the most profound movies that I've watched in the last 20 years, right? Now I know I'm only 28 years old, so I haven't been living that long to see every single movie that has come out. But out of all the movies that I've seen, the movie Get Out is one of the most profound movies I've ever watched. It is the directorial debut of Mr. Jordan Peele, and it was written by Jordan Peele as well. And the movie is so brilliantly written, y'all. Like every time I watch this movie, I really see something else in it. And I want to write a think piece on the certain things that he's talking about or certain things that he presented in this film. The movie is so profound to me because it challenges the stereotypical way we view racism in America, right? Being a black man from Chicago, Illinois, I remember being a kid and thinking that racism only looked one way, right? Now, of course, as I got older and I went to college and my mind started to expand and, cognitively, your brain develops, you start to develop an entire different perception of how racism is in America and how it can come across and how it can look. But when you're a kid, I saw racism as the stereotypical way that they view it, that it was brought to the big screen, right? Brought to the big screen. It was always, racism was on movies for the most part, it was set in the Deep South. And racism was presented as Confederate flag flying, N-word using hillbilly redneck type people. And that is not the only form of racism that exists in America or in the world itself. This movie challenges those different ideologies by presenting the Armitage family, who is, from all aspects, a family that most people wouldn't expect racism to come. Like well, of course, not most people. I'm sorry. But it's not you would think that, oh my God, these people have to be liberal-minded people, all in all. I mean, hell, he said he would have voted for Barack Obama for a third time, right? These people are working in corporate America. They have some of the American dream type jobs. The mother in the Armitage family, she was a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something like that. She dealt with hypnosis. The father was a brain surgeon. So racism is not presented as in the typical hillbilly form in this movie. It presents racism in covert fashion, right? Racism that is hidden in plain sight, and that exists in corporate America, in daily interactions with even just neighbors and so on and so forth. It's a lot of things these are experiences that black people have had. Now, I'm not talking about the extreme of swapping brains and hypnosis and so on and so forth, but just racism that you can pick up on in conversation, right? Interaction, so on and so forth. And those people who it is coming from, they don't think that they racist because, I love LeBron James. I love Tiger Woods. I love Michael Jordan. I love Floyd Mayweather. I love Lamar Jackson. I love and people think that and there are people who think just because those individuals admire a LeBron James or admire a Michael Jordan, they think, that person can't be racist, which is the furthest thing from the truth. In the movie, we see all the different people who came to the Armitage's house that weekend talking to Chris. They were admiring his physical attributes. They were admiring all the things that had to do with black people and the coolness. One of the Asian, in the movie, I believe the Asian man even said, black is cool, black is in, right? So they were admiring all these different features and nuances of black culture, but at the same time, they view black people as discardable people, right? And we saw that from, them luring black people, black men and black women to their household in order to use their bodies as vessels for them to live out a whole different life. The white people were using the black people bodies as a vessel to live it than the life that they probably always wanted or get the black experience without necessarily really, really being black, And it just really challenges the different the stereotypical way we view racism. Excuse me stuttering, but I'm really excited to talk about it because I was just like, man, it's just it's done so well, man. And it even speaks to the uncomfortability that black people can experience being in a situation that can be racist, right? Like, especially when we're on the fence about things. Like, we're like, man, I don't know, this shit getting a little funny. It feel funny style to me, man. It feel funny. It feel like it's some racist bullshit going on. And in those situations, we look for another black person, somebody that looks like us. We look for somebody that looks like us in those situations so we can probably feel at ease to calm our mind about certain things. And that's what happened in this movie. When Chris, the character Chris, played by Daniel Kaluuya, when he saw Kaluuya, when he saw Lakeith Stanfield's character, I think his name was Andre, but he had been taken over by a man named Logan King. When he saw Lakeith Stanfield's character, he was trying to feel at ease. He even goes up to him and says, "Good to see another brother around here," right? Until he interacts with him and realizes this dude is really off. Something is off about this dude. He's not conversing with me like a brother would to another brother. And it's just like, but that's the aspect of him even looking for somebody that looks like him, another black person in the room to make him feel at ease. That's a true thing that a lot of people experience when they're in a racist situation. They go and try to find another black person to just calm them down, right? Or take all and let them know, like, hey, everything gonna be okay. Let me look for somebody that looks like me so I can know, shit, man, are you feeling the same thing I'm feeling, or whatever, right? And this movie even breaks down the different social cues that black people have amongst different social cues that we have that are different from white people, Asian people, so on and so forth. When Chris goes to try to dap Logan King or Andre, he really dapping up Logan King because Logan King is operating Andre's body. When he goes to dap him up, the dude does this to the hand and tries to shake the hand instead of dapping him up back. When somebody put a fist out to you in black culture, we automatically know, hey, he trying to give me some dap or whatever, right? It's cool, if he's trying to dap you up or whatever. We know what time that is. We know what that is. But an older, elderly white man would have no idea what the hell are you doing, so he's just gonna try to shake that fist. Now, I'm not saying every elderly white man wouldn't know, but a lot of elderly white people who have no interaction with black people on a daily would probably do that and try to shake your fist because he doesn't know the different social cues of that black people have. Right? And I thought that was very important to highlight the differences in just upbringing and stuff like that, right? Because a lot of people, and this is something else that I found very brilliant about this film, a lot of people use the term "I don't see color," right? And even in the movie The Blind Guy, he was trying to act like, hey, I think he represented the "I don't see color" people because he was talking to Chris in the movie when Chris was becoming weirded out by all of his racist experiences, the stuff that he was experiencing all around. It was weird. It was so funny style. The dude that was blind eased his mind, made him feel at ease, made him feel comfortable, made Chris feel like, I can trust this dude. He seems likable, right? But the people who say I don't see color or people who feel like they don't see color can be harmful as well, because I need you to see my blackness so you can be aware of the insensitivities that would be present in my culture. Right? You need to see that I'm a black man. I want everybody to know that I'm a black man so you can talk to me and handle me accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh my God, I need to be pampered. What I'm saying is you need to be aware so that you don't say some stuff that I feel like is offensive to my culture and to my people, and we will have a negative interaction. For sure. Because there are certain things that are offensive to certain cultures, and we all know this, whether it's Native American, whether it's Hispanic, so on and so forth, Asian, whatever. Certain things are viewed as disrespectful or viewed as offensive. And you need to recognize a person's blackness or their heritage in general, or their culture, to know, hey, there's certain cultural insensitivities that you don't want to cross those boundaries. You need to know, hey, you can't treat everybody the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, hey, there's certain things that are culturally insensitive to that person. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing this, you know what I'm saying? And people need to be aware of that, for sure. And in this movie, when we're talking about the differences in culture, it showed with the dap, and the dude shaking the fist. It showed, look, black people have different social cues, especially depending on where we grow up. I know we're not all monolithic, but a black person from Brooklyn, a black person from Chicago, from the south side of Chicago, is not going to interact the same way as a white person from the north side of Chicago or whatever. Like, it's going to be different things. A black person from Chicago social cues can be completely different than a white person from Chicago, right? There are certain different social cues within every ethnicity that are apparent. And I think this movie brought that to light, for sure, man. And I was just like, man, this movie is just so brilliantly done, man. Talking about covert racism, because, again, there are people who think that they're safe away from racism within the confines of corporate America. When you're in corporate America, like, it's just, oh man, everybody's playing, everything is just fair and square. We're all on an even playing field. And in many cases, that is the case. But in some cases, It is not. And then people need to be aware that it can be situations where everybody ain't on the same playing field. This person is outwardly is very, very racist, even though they like LeBron James and they like all these different athletes and entertainers. You can love rap music and all of that, but still view black people as disposable. Really don't have a, you can still have a disdain for black people and say things that are very racist and offensive to our folks, even though you like some things that come out of our culture. Like rap music comes from black culture. Certain different fashion trends and all of that, and certain slang and lingo comes out of black culture. You can be in love with all of that, but still have a profound disrespect for black folks. You know, and I've always heard people that speaks on the whole thing. I can't be racist. I got a black friend. Hey, I would have voted for Obama a third time. Hey, I like rap music. Hey, I like this and like that. That don't mean you're not racist, brother. You know what I'm saying? That does not mean you're not racist. That just means, hey, that just means you like certain aspects of certain culture, but that don't mean you care for black people or care about the well-being of black people because it was presented in this film, right? Even black people who, like, you may have slept with a black person or you might have find a black person attractive. That doesn't mean that you're not racist. You know what I mean? You just like that person and you can still have those same negative ideologies that the hillbillies have, right? Oh hell, man! It was slave owners had sex with the slaves. They were not had sex. They were raping the slaves. The slave owners was raping the slaves and all that. So they was sexually attracted to them, but they still had to discuss for that black woman, for that black man. You know, that's the truth. And I think that even like the Logan King character, the character played by Lakeith Stanfield, his wife was all for him being a black man, right? Because she thought the sex would be better. Probably thought he had a bigger, had a bigger penis or all that and all that. Because she was even saying, like, is it better with the black? She asked Rose, not the same woman, but another white woman in there, asked Rose, is it better with him? Asking, is sex better with him, right? And there are people who, and then the woman who was married to Lakeith Stanfield's, the woman who was married to the guy that was in Lakeith Stanfield's body, she had no problem having sex with a black dude, but she didn't care about black folks because they used another black man's body for her husband's personal gain. So it shows right there, she didn't give a fuck about black folks at all. She looked at them as disposable. Just like the dad looked at black folks as disposable because he was willing to do all of that. He was likening black people to the deer at the beginning of the movie when he said, hey, get rid of all the deers. It's better for all of them to be gone and all this and all of that and everything. And still he was a terrible human being, a racist individual, right? Even when he came out, this is a trick some people who are racist do. They try to shove down your throat that they're not racist, right? They try to highlight certain things and say, hey, I know it looks messed up, but that ain't me, man. Even when he talked about, hey, I know the black, we got black maids and black servants. He called them servants. We have black servants, white family. I know it can look kind of funny, man, but we not them type of people. There are people who are like racist to the core, but will try to highlight certain things and say, hey, I'm not racist though. Hey man, I know it looked like that, but I'm not, man. I'm a good person. I'm cool like you, man. I like you. I ain't no bad person. But there are really, really disgusting people. And just because you highlight certain things that may be fishy and you think, I know how I can look, but it's not like that, it still could be very well like that, even though you trying to act like it's not. And I was like, man, that's the shit that good movie writing is made of. Jordan Peele did a hell of a job with this film, man. And I was just like, man, it just, even having a friend, when your homeboy is being funny, like, hey, man, you going over there with all them white folks, man. Hey, Rob was really trying to warn him, hey, you going to be the only black dude out there? You sure you want to do that, man? And he was basically saying, hey, look, expressing how a lot of times how black folks feel. When we the only black person in certain situations, we start to get uneasy. You know what I mean? Even if you're not in that situation, you got a friend in that situation, you start feeling uneasy. They taking you to the middle of nowhere. You're the only black dude probably that's going to be out there. Bro, be careful. I don't know. We ain't saying that they bad people, but we just don't know what could happen. I don't know. Just be on guard because sometimes when you're not around people that look like you never know how certain things can take a turn for the worse. If someone to get out of line, is somebody really going to check that person when they get out of line? You know what I mean? Because maybe they might find nothing wrong with it because they're not black and they don't understand the offensiveness of what you're experiencing. Or maybe they do understand it, but they think it's not a big deal because they're not black themselves to understand how hurtful certain things could be or how how ignorant or offensive certain stuff can be in certain situations because they're not dealing with it firsthand, right? So those are real things, man. We get nervous about being the only black person around in certain situations, man. And I was like, man, this is brilliantly done. And when you find out that Jordan Peele he's married to a white woman, you wonder, has he experienced these things before? Not saying with his wife's family, but maybe in past dating experiences, or has he experienced, not even just in his dating life, in his professional life, in a professional realm, has he experienced those type of interactions? But I just feel like, man, the movie just challenges the way we view racism just from the stereotypical way, man. There are, and of course, the Confederate flag image and the N-word using people, that is racist. I'm not trying to get him a pass at all. You racist as fuck. I don't give a fuck. That Confederate flag shit is not a symbol of heritage and all that bullshit. Because why you proud of your people being racist? I don't know why the fuck you would be proud of your people fighting to keep slavery around. Your people was fighting to keep my folks enslaved, and you think that's something to be like a badge of honor. I don't care. That shit is not honorable to me at all. So I don't let that tradition shit that they use that as, oh, it's tradition and it's family heritage. All that shit is cool. No, it's not cool. Matter of fact, not cool. So I'm checking that shit. I'm gonna believe you racist if you support that Confederate flag for sure. I'm just gonna view you as racist. I'm sorry, right? And that may not always be the case, but I just feel like, why would you want to rock a flag that it represented hate, and it was a symbol of hate and despair for my folks. And if you my friend and you repping that flag, nah, bro, how would you give any type of justification for that? If you my friend and you around me. But anyway, yes, so the Confederate flag flying, N-word using people are racist for sure. But racism can also be the individuals who try to mask themselves as liberal when they really, really are heinous people. You know what I'm saying? And they try to mask themselves as, oh, I love LeBron James. Oh, I love this athlete. I love that black rapper and all this and all of that. And they work in corporate America. They smile and give you the greatest handshake. And they just always, they always smiling at you and talking to you pleasant. But behind doors, they can't stand you. They can't stand your people. They use all type of negative words or racist words about your folks. They use all type of racial slurs and all of that behind closed doors. They have a disgust for your people. They just like what certain people in your ethnicity, they like the skill set that they have. They admire them for their skill set, or for their prowess in certain arenas. But that don't mean they ain't racist folks, man. And I just feel like this movie does a great job of doing that, man. And I wish I would have had a channel back when this movie first dropped, because I feel like, man, it would have been so fresh. And I had these ideologies when I saw the movie. I remember watching the movie at the time. I was in grad school. I remember going to the movies and watching that, and I was just like, man, I went right home and just wanted to see if everybody saw the certain things that I saw in the film. And when it clicked to a lot of other folks, not even just black folks, white people, Asian people, they saw it right off bat. And it was like, man, like certain things that black people experience. Like when certain white folks come around and they try to, I know Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? And nobody ever said it to me, but it's just like trying to say certain things that feel like they can relate to you, talking about how they like Biggie and Tupac and shit. You're like, man, no, you don't. And I know you don't. So that's why you come bringing that around me thinking that's going to make me like you, interact with you better. It's just certain things that are just weird interactions that black people experience with non-black folks in general. You know what I'm saying? Not just strictly white people, non-black folks. We have a lot of crazy experiences. And we're like, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? It's like people say weird stuff. Like, what? But just love the way covert racism is explored